So, welcome to another FIFA 21 rebuild. This time going to Italy with Udinese, who's well renowned for their youth program and finding young talent around the world, including gentlemen like Bruno Fernandes, Alex Merritt, Fabio Quagliarella. Now, the team's been up for their longest spell for 25 years since 1995, and since that time they were regulars in European football, especially through the late 2000s, where in successive years they finished 4th, 3rd, and 5th. But since that 5th place finish, they have not finished above 12th place. And in fact, in 2015-16, they only finished 1 point in safety above the relegation zone. So we're going to take this team and see if we can lead Udinese to their first Champions League title here on this channel. And here's the club we have for Udinese. As you see, a bunch of guys in the mid-70s, so they shouldn't be sitting towards the bottom of the league. Their best potential is Mr. Mandragora and De Paul. Now, one thing to note, they have on loan De La Few, who's on loan from Watford, who happens to be owned. Watford's also owned by the same owner as Udinese. It's just his son runs that club. When he owned Granada, he had players going back and forth he would sell. So we may try and pick up a few players from Watford. Basically, Dad wants son to help him out a little bit here to win Serie A. Now, also, we do start off with a pretty solid goalkeeper, Mr. Musso, so that's a good start. So let's see what we do this transfer window. So we decided to use that family ties and made a swap deal with Watford. We've sent over Jean-Victor Makengo, and we've received the teenage striker Joao Pedro, and we had sent over about $3 million to cover it. Couple player sales. Stefano Kaka is going to Athletic Club for $7.9 million. Sebastian De Mayo is going to Wolfsburg for $2.8 million, and Bram Nontic is going to Buenos Aires for $2.3 million. Two more signings to announce. We've signed center back Matteo Lovato from Hellas Verona for $7.5 million, and then we've signed teenage Cam Emmanuel Vignato from Bologna for $6.1 million. I may loan him out. I'm not sure. The thing is, the formation Udinese uses doesn't have a cam, and his defense is pretty poor to be a central midfielder, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with him. But I couldn't turn down a player with this young, this talent, this cheap for a team that doesn't have a big budget. We've sold veteran center back Sebastian Proidel to Huesca for $1 million. And Mato Tachalo is going to Buenos Aires to join his teammate for $3.15 million. And we've made another sale on Danish right midfielder Jens Strager Larsen to Andrussia Gladbach for $8.3 million. So I made all those players sales, so I set myself in position to get a quality center back. We've signed Gianluca Mancini from Roma for $16 million and sent them Kevin Bonifacia. So, pretty busy transfer window. I sent out a ton of players. Lacking a little bit on depth. Maybe I can pick up a few good players through the youth academy. But let's go January 1st, see if we're on our way to a mid-table finish is what we're hoping for this year. So, we're mid-table, but we're actually in the top half. Not doing too bad here. So, we're not going to obviously catch the league. I don't think we're going to get European spots. We're just not that good. But hey, it's solid performance so far. Now one of my objectives, I've got to have a certain amount of money left in the bank still, so I doubt I'll do any business this transfer window, but let's find out. Nope, no transfer business this window. So let's zip on to the end of the year and see if we can maintain our position in the standings. Look at that. We were able to hang on to mid-table finish and finish 9th. Winning the league was Juventus. There's a surprise. Inter won the Coppa Italia over Roma. Liverpool defeated Real Madrid in penalties to win the Champions League. Leverkusen took home the Europa Trophy over Ajax. Here's a quick look at the top goal scorers. As you see, Mr. Pedro laid away with 17 goals, and Nestorovski with 16. We did not have too many assists as a team, though. Now here we are with how the lineups progress. Now, the one problem is this. Those that aren't aware, De La Few just signed a new deal to make his move from Watford to Udinese permanent until 2024. Unfortunately, I started this save before that contract. So De La Few is going back to Watford. And I also lose Fusetto and Mendragora. Both are going back on loan. So there goes most of my midfield right there. But I don't think I'm going to go after Fusetto. I may go after Mendragora and De La Few. Just kind of depends what the market looks like. So, with that being said, and taking a look at this lineup, we're going to advance to year 2. Had a pretty pleasant year 1 for compared to what was expected by the game and compared to what Udinese is doing in real life. So let's get on to it and see how we do next season. So we start off the season by picking up for the slack we're missing in the midfield. We signed Matteo Pessina from Atalanta for $23 million. Now, you're going to see quite a few players probably being sold here in a minute because, as you saw, I didn't get a whole lot of money with the Pereira sale. I have about $35 million before signing Pessina. And I have like 9 strikers now because we have like 4 out on the loan. So, let's get to supplying other teams with players. We've sold striker number 1, Ilja Netrofovsky, to Feyenoord for $3.65 million. Striker number 2 out the door, Lukas Todorczyk, is going to Bologna for $2.2 million. So we splashed the cast and got Czech teen Adam Holzek for $20 million. What makes this unusual is he was at Manchester City. Normally, you can't get him the first 3 or 4 years of a rebuild because his actual real-life club right now is Sparta Praha, and in the game it'll say, can't let him go, too important. So we got a bargain, and he can play either left or right midfield or striker. So it gives me flexibility on making moves this transfer window before I have to decide if I can keep him as a striker if I'm able to sell one of the guys, another guy, or I'll just put him on the wing till time comes. So 3 more player sales. We've sold Samir to Marseille for $6 million. We sold Mr. Ziegler to Verona for $2.6 million. And I was originally not planning to sell Mr. Musso, but you'll find out why in a minute. And it does have Udinese connections. But we have sold him to Mr. Rosso. Is it Rosso's last name? Man, I can't remember right now. Other club he owns to Watford for $45.4 million. We've sold Tolgay Arslan to Club Brugge for $2.95 million. Hopefully I now have enough money to do what I need to do. Now we've got our new goalkeeper. We've signed 24-year-old Alex Merritt for $42.6 million from Napoli. He's a couple years younger than Musso, even though he is a couple overall down, but his potential is bigger. And if you don't know, Alex Merritt actually came up in the Udinese youth system, played a handful of games for him before he went to Napoli. So we're bringing Mr. Merritt back to where it all started for him. And he's going to bring us a Champions League title. So that's it for this transfer window. The team, I would say I probably have the same quality of team I had at the beginning of last year. Just keep in mind I lost 3 out of my 11 starters because they were all loanies, but we'll see. The goal is to make the Europa League spots, but we'll find out January 1st how realistic that is. I wasn't expecting to see this. We're all the way up in second. 5 points behind Lazio. Where is Juventus? Oh, there's Juventus 7th. So, let's see if we can do anything in the transfer window. So we've sold Wallace to Sporting for $6.1 million. So another one where we took a couple points downgrade in rating, but we got a much younger and higher potential guy. We've signed now 20-year-old James Gardner from Manchester U for only $5 million. Now he is only 71, but in the attributes, he has 5 separate attributes, including his solid player. So we will take him and help him grow. So those were my only moves this transfer window. So we're going to go to the end of the season and see if we can pull off I really don't see us hanging around the top four, but at least get European football in the Europa League. That'd be nice. Start the climb upwards to grab the ultimate destination. And we did hang on a Europa League spot, finishing fifth in the league. Lazio outpaced Juventus to take the Serie A title. Juventus did take the Coppa Italia this year. Man City took home the Champions League over Atletico Madrid. Europa League came back to England too, going to the Spurs over Real Sociedad. And here's a quick look at the stats. Mr. Pedro added in 22 goals. And once again, though, not a lot of assists. Nobody in double digits. So that's telling me I definitely need a midfielder that's capable of making the pass. So let's take a quick look at the stats and ratings for everybody. So here's a quick look at where everybody is rating. Pretty steady across the board. I don't know what to do with Garner because that's going to be too weak, but I had it get a center midfielder for the mid-season because I couldn't go with a 68. But yeah, we can go many different ways. About the only thing that's for sure is we're not dropping the goalkeeper, Merritt. So we're going to go in season 3, have some European football, and see if we can bring home some trophies. So, starting this third season after being out on loan for 2 years, Kevin Lasagna, not sure how the Italians pronounce it, has been sold to Benevento for $5 million. So he gave us one good season after returning from loan, but we sold Antonin Barak to Porto for $34 million. I'm going to slot Mr. Holzik in the striker role, and I'm going to try to find myself a new left midfielder. And we've brought in our new left midfielder, the Brazilian Gabriel Martinelli, coming from Arsenal for $50 million. So let's hop on over to the Europa League group, see where we're sitting, because that's the end of our transfer window. So we drew Valencia, Besiktas, and Young Boys. So I expect us to at least finish second. Valencia could be a problem. We'll find out here in just one moment. So as you see, exactly what we expected second. Round 32 we'll take on Wolves, so hopefully we can progress in the Europa League. How are we doing in the Serie A? Looks like we're in a struggle there. A lot of losses this year. The good news is we're in a big group just outside the Europa League spot, so Juventus is pulling away a little bit with Inter from the rest of the pack. But the rest is attainable with a hot run, so let's see if I can do anything to help the squad out. Nope, no business here, so time to go in the season, see if we can pull ourselves out of this hole we dug ourselves. And look that we have made a Champions League football for next year, squeezing into 4th place. Juventus beat out Inter for the Serie A title. And Napoli defeated Lazio in the battle of the two teams behind us to win the Coppa Italia. Look at that, Juventus defeated PSG to win the Champions League. And Monaco defeated Hertha Berlin to win the Europa League. We lost in that round of 32 matchup to the Wolves. We didn't exactly have a balanced attack on the scoring end, with Joao Pedro scoring 28 goals. But hey, we did get it done. Now part of the problem was Holzik got hurt. He was out for 3 months, so not only did it hurt his numbers, but he only went up 1 overall. So here's the way the lineups work. As you see, about 2/3 of it's in the 80s. You don't see Holzik up here because he's out. He's still out hurt, but he's at 79. For next season for Champions League, this team as constructed is not good enough to even make the knockout stages, in my opinion. Even though we got the goalkeeper and a couple. Bacao, Mancini's 27. DePaul's 28. So yeah, may have to take a step back, take a step forward. It all depends on that board money. Not expecting a big amount the Europa League money instead of Champions League, but we'll find out on to season 4 and see how we progress. So for our first move in this season 4, we went to that family connection again to Watford, and we've signed right midfielder Ismaila Sarr for $53 million from Watford. So we have sold 2 of our players that started this rebuild with the club. We sold Rodrigo Javier de Paul to Sheffield United for 37.4 million, and we sold Rodrigo the Cow to one Gladbach for 18.3 million. So we've plugged in this replacement for Cow. We've brought in Argentinian center back Nahun Perez from Offenheim for $41.8 million. So that's it for this transfer window. We're going to see who we've drawn our group stage of the Champions League. So we get drawn against Leverkusen, Chelsea, and for what seems like the 400th time, Dynamo Kiev. So it's not Barcelona or Real Madrid or Liverpool, but Chelsea and Leverkusen are tough draws. So let's see if we can squeeze by and make it to the knockout stage here in just momentarily in 3, 2, 1. Wow, look at that. Finished top of the group in a 3-way tie. And then you had Dynamo Kiev. I will take that. And in the round 16, we get Monaco. So, where are we in the Serie A race? Wow, we are leading Serie A. This season is getting to be magical. So, I've got about 25 million in the bank. I don't know if that's going to be enough to really improve the team. And I'm in the knockout stages. And I'm going to qualify Champions League. I don't know if it's worth trying to go after somebody with only 25 million. And I'm going to just keep it for next year. We'll see. And I'm not going to blow this up just for a possible extra round. So let's go to that round of 16 match against Monaco. So here we are in France for this fixture. I'm looking at their team. It's a team I think we can beat. So let's get started. Can we win? And no, that was a big one. No. 2-0 loss on the road. Okay, here we are back at home. Need to make up a 2-0 deficit. And they got Denayer back. I don't remember being in the lineup previous game. Ooh. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. Well, we drew, so we showed some respectability. But anyways, that's the end of our Champions League run. On to the end of the season, see if we can hold on to the Serie A title. We just missed out on the Serie A title. Look at that. 1 point. 2 points separated first from fourth. Oh, so close. Atalanta defeated Napoli on penalties in what I'm sure was an exciting 0-0 draw. Man City edged out Inter Milan on penalties to take Champions League. We almost went back-to-back Serie A for that. And Valencia beat Spurs in the Europa League final. We got a little bit more balanced scoring, but still Mr. Pedro led the way with 31 goals on the season. Sarr chipped in with 12 assists on the year, though. So this is what this team looks like. Everybody's in the 80s except for Garner. As you saw, I put Fignato in the center midfield hole because I didn't have anybody else close to play that, and the money didn't have enough money to get somebody that'd be better quality, so we stuck him in there. But next year changes, definitely going to get a center midfielder and put Vignato back as a backup. Maybe upgrade Mr. Garner, get some value for him, and maybe sell Mancini since he is 28. Look at Mr. Merritt at 88. So, anyways, on to season number 5. And let's see if we advance deeper in the Champions round. So we've made that upgrade at the defense midfield, bringing the Italian Manuel Locatelli from Roma for 93.2 million and some change. Welcome to the club, Manuel. We have sold the constant backup goalie Simone Scuffet to Bournemouth for $5.95 million. Couple more sales. Nahu Molina is going to Buenos Aires for $3.65 million, and then Gianluca Mancini is going to Milan for $58.3 million now. Time to get his replacement. As a replacement, we brought in the Turkish center back Merad Demiral for $53.3 million from Valencia. So that's it for this transfer window. So we're going to check out our Champions Group stage this year. Well, we got 8 PSG, but we also got Donks and Moscow. So this should be a group we should easily get top 2. So the question is, can we beat out PSG for that top spot in the group in 3, 2, 1? Look at that. We finished top of the group with 15 points ahead of PSG. In the round of 16, we get Leverkusen, who we had our group stage last year. So, where are we in Serie A? Look at that. Top of the table. We've only lost one solid season. But we still don't have that big a lead over Inter. And Atalanta is not too terribly out of it. So, I don't really have much money left after some contract renewals. But we'll see if I do any transfers here. Yep, nothing. On to Leverkusen in the round of 16. So we are starting in Germany for the round of 16 matchup against Leverkusen. We got a full squad, so let's see the results. 2-1 loss. Sarr with a goal in the 38th minute, and they had a brace from Diaby. So we are for the home leg, and in between we suffered a big blow losing Sarr to an injury. He'll be out for this match. So Mr. Gonzalez coming off the bench to be at striker and moving Holzek out to wing. Can we make up the 2-1 deficit? No, 1-1 draw. Flaming out the round of 16 again. Well, can we go and hang on to this Serie A title and get our first piece of hardware for this rebuild? And look at that, we ran and hid in Serie A. 12 clear of Inter and almost 30 clear of Milan. Way to go. But we couldn't pull the domestic double. We did at least make the finals of the Coppa Italia, losing to Atalanta, which I believe that's like their third straight year winning. I guess we can take solace in the fact that we lost the eventual Champions League winners by Leverkusen, who beat Juventus 2-0. And Real Madrid went on to win the Europa League over Wolfsburg 2-1. Balanced scoring from the team this year. 5 guys with over 15 goals, but nobody there with 10 assists. But we'll take it. Now, final look at the lineup that won us the Serie A by a convincing margin. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, I've got Merritt, the one that's improving a ton. He's already up to 91. Martinelli and Sarr surging. But literally, Pessina and Locatelli did not go up a single rating this year, while Garner has went up to 83, so I think Locatelli will stay, but Pessina will probably look to make a move. Vignato's still young. I don't remember where he started this year at, so I have to look at that. But other than that, we'll go to Season 6, see what kind of money the board gives us, and see if we can get out of the round of 16. So we've sold the Swedish center midfielder and one of the original members of the squad, Svante Ingelsson, to Young Boys for $2.89 million. And after what was about a month of searching, deals rendering, deals brokens, you can get the picture. We've got our new center midfielder. We've sent Matteo Pessina over to Dortmund with $36.3 million, and we've returned Giovanni Lo Celso, the Argentine center midfielder. Welcome to the club, Giovanni. So, one of the goalkeeper youth academy products. Well, that was a good sentence. It's been sold to Fiorentina for $2.4 million. Jacopo Valentini. So, since we were able to get rid of Pessina for a pretty good price, I'm going to go ahead and sell Murat Demiral, the Turkish center back, to Monaco for $77.7 million. And I'm going to go after a bigger quality center back. And we went out and got that center back, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've signed him, not just this year, but ever in a FIFA rebuild. We signed the 28-year-old Portuguese Ruben Diaz, the man who could arguably be the player of the year for Manchester City this year with the difference he's made. We signed him for $111.7 million from Leverkusen. So that's it for this transfer window. We got the 2 players we wanted to strengthen the club, and a few guys going out. So let's see who we draw in our Champions League group. So Atletico Madrid, Braga, and then the Norwegian club Bodo Glimt. Let's find out how we do in this group in just a moment and advance to January 1st. And we finished top of the group ahead of Atletico Madrid. That's nice. And our Reward for getting there next round and winning the group is Liverpool. Lovely. Well, the other choice was Man City. Well, we're not leading this year, and we're definitely not by a big margin, but we are right there in the Serie A race with Napoli and Inter and Juve just a little bit behind us. So let's see if we do anything this transfer window. Similar situation last year. Have about 30 million in the bank and just didn't see a deal I want. So on to take on Liverpool. Here we are starting off the round of 16 in Anfield. Let's get onto it. Full lineup, 2-2 draw. Mr. Holzik with a brace. But we did get, oh no we didn't. Mr. Van Dijk with a goal for them. Well, at least we came out of there with a top draw. So for the second time in 3 years, Mr. Holzek's out for the second leg of the round of 16 matchup. We're bringing Anfield into our house. We do have 2 away goals, so a 0-0 top draw, 1-1 draw will be just fine. But can we do it? Can we avoid the third straight round 16 loss? And we did with a Lo Celso goal in the 70th minute. It's a way to go, man. And it doesn't get any easier. Quarterfinal draw against Atletico Madrid. Oh, with Felix up front and all black in the back. As you see, Holzek's still out. So I've got a makeshift lineup to try to get the best players in. But we're going to go with visiting Madrid. Can we at least leave with a draw? Or a 2-0 win. Even better. Goals by Pedro and Garner. Now we're here for the home leg. Not only are we missing Holzik, but Mr. Diaz is out due to yellow cards. So once again, the lineup makeshift. Mr. Garner is always back, but we do have a 2-0 win at home. So can we hang on? Oh, we need a late goal from Mr. Joe Pedro to advance us to the semis. But hey, we're going to the semis. That's all that counts. And in the semifinals, we drew PSG, while the other semifinals is an all-German battle between Leverkusen and Bayern. So, let's move on to France. So here we are in France. We got their lineup. We're still missing Holzek. He is on the bench, but he doesn't have enough fitness to be a starter for this game, so we'll go without him. So, let's give it a shot. Can we pull out a victory? No, we lost 3-2. Pedro and Lovato with a goal. So, we got a little bit of deficit, but we do have the 2 away goals. So here we are at home. We got Holzek back in the lineup, but we're missing Pedro because of the yellow card. So, once again, we got to face Mbappe and Neymar Jr., and we're down 3-2. But let's see if we pull out the victory here at home. No, we cannot. 1-0 win it. Goal by Mbappe. But we did make it to the semis this year, so let's see if we can finish off the year with another Serie A title. No, we couldn't quite defend our title, losing by 2 to Inter Milan. We only lost twice, but 8 draws did us in. Beginning of the year, we defeated Atalanta to win the Supercopa. We did finally win the Coppa Italia, though, beating Juventus. PSG did go on to beat Leverkusen to win the Champions League. So second straight year we lost to the champions. In an all Premier League final, Chelsea won the Europa League over Wolves. Look at that. Mr. Pedro, 42 goals on the year, 28 in Serie A alone, and he had 15 assists. He may end up leading this rebuild in both goals and assists the way he's going, and games played. So here's a look at the lineup. As you see, got a bunch of people creeping up into the 90s. Mr. Holzek would be in the 90s if it wasn't for the injury, because he was sitting at 88, maybe even 89 going into before the injury. So anyways, on to next season. I'm going to probably have Garner be a permanent center back since his numbers are better than Lovato. Lovato stopped growing pretty much. So the obvious first change will probably be Fignato. Whether I sell him or put him on the bench, don't know yet. But let's go to season number 7, see if we can pull off this Champions League run. So, we've made the move for the center midfielder. We have brought back the man who got his start as late in top flight football As a teenager with Udinese, we brought back Bruno Fernandes from Real Madrid for $124 million. So we've sold Matteo Lovato to Juventus for $73 million since I couldn't get him out of Crucial and I need money to renew some contracts since I literally spent every dollar I had on Fernandes. So, wanted another guy off the bench who is a quality striker and that's not in the low 70s, so we signed from Sampdoria Andrea Bolatti for $28 million. So that was our transfer window. Let's see who we drew in the group this year. Appearances by Braga and Moscow again in our group, but we got Real Madrid this year. So, time to advance January 1st and see what I suspect will be advancing to the knockout stages in just a moment. We took the win in the group over Real Madrid, so we're rewarded with a round against Liverpool for the second straight year. And Real Madrid gets Man City for the second straight year. Boy, there's a pattern developing here. And we are leading Serie A at the halfway point. We've only conceded 9 goals all season. We're 5 points up on Milan and Atalanta and Juventus. So, transfer window time. So that's it. No transfer business outside of a American prospect since the beginning who never grew. So on to the round of 16 in the knockout stages. So once again, back at Anfield this season. Full lineup for a change in Champions League play. Here, results going to be 3-3. Oh, Holzik got another injury. No. So here we are, back at home. Holzik was only out for a week, so that didn't hurt us bad. We do have a 3-way goal, so a tie would be just fine. Can we do it? No. No, don't torture me like this. Oh, Take with a goal in 36th minute. Oh, I thought this would not end like this. Time to get to the end of this season. So we won the league over Milan by 9. Another Super Copa win at the beginning of the year. So we did pull off the domestic treble by beating Juventus in the Coppa Italia finals. An all Bundesliga final by Bayern beat Dortmund. Boy, those two clubs have been strong in this rebuild. And Man U defeated our Serie A rivals Milan to win the Europa League. Another 40-goal campaign from Mr. Jorge Pedro. That was a heck of a transfer from Watford, and I remember right, that was the very first one we did. So anyways, so here's our lineup at the moment. Going in next year, as you see now, I've got Pedro up to 95, Merritt 93, the wings are at 92, so obviously the improvement's going to need being center back. And I think I'll keep Celso for one more year. I probably will need love to be able to keep Garner on the bench if he doesn't mind. So this is definitely going longer than I expected after the first couple of years, but we're on to season 8 and the broken record, Champions League football, which is really all we need right now at this point to win that trophy. He was out on loan the first season and been on the bench since then, but we decided to sell Petar Medicine to Spezia for $3.5 million. So I needed more money to upgrade the center back position. I'm going to convert Mr. Garner to completely to center back in the training. So we have sent Nahum Perez to Lazio. In exchange, we got $52 million, plus we got center midfielder Lucas Paqueta, who will be a strong option off the bench, which I could definitely use an upgrade there, especially since I'm taking Garner into a starting center back position. I could really learn to hate Zinedine Zidane, but we finally got the deal done for center back Dayot Upamecano for $177.1 million. The Frenchman should be our last piece to the Champions League glory. You see the players in and out there. It's the time to check out our Champions League group once again. Well, this is definitely by far the easiest group we've had in a couple years. Spurs, Schalke, and Dynamo Kiev. So, anyways, on January 1st, where I expect to see this table probably be in that same order. Oh, I actually got reversed there a little bit. Kiev finished ahead of Schalke. But no matter, we are moving on. Round of 16 opponent is Monaco. And we're not leading Serie A, trailing Juventus by a single point. Interesting. But anyways, transfer window. Any business? Probably not, but we'll see. Nope, on to the round 16. No business done here. Okay, so we're facing Monaco, the first team that we ever faced in this rebuild in the Champions League knockout stage. But we are missing Martinelli due to yellow cards. But that shouldn't matter, I don't think so. 3-0 win, braced by Pedro and Holznick with a goal. So here we are in the second leg. Upamecano, is out due to yellow card. So we got I believe he's the only player left from this original team, Opoku, playing in his position because I want to give him a start. This should be no big deal. And it wasn't. Pedro and Sarr with goals. Here we are. We got Man U in the round of 8 quarterfinals. We start off at home. Our full lineup's at disposal, but they do have a pretty strong lineup there. But we'll see. I mean, we obviously got pretty strong lineup ourselves. So here we are. First leg. 2-0 win. Martinelli and Pedro with goals. They didn't even get a shot on goal. Here we are in the away leg, going to Old Trafford, but we do have a 2-0 win, so lead. So really all we need is an away goal, and this is just about over. How about 3 away goals? Goals by Martinelli, Lo Celso, and Sarr. So, semifinals, we drew Leverkusen. And as you see, our old pal Liverpool's floating around the other semifinals facing Real Madrid. But first we gotta worry about the German team. So, on to the semifinals. Here we are in Germany, awaiting the semifinals, take on Leverkusen. We got our full squad available. Let's just get into the action. We're going to leave Germany happy. 3-2 win, a brace by Martinelli and Mr. Pedro once again with a goal. Boy, I say that frequently. So we're back home in Italy. We're missing Lo Celso for this game out due to the yellow cards. Paqueta's in there. A little bit more defensive because we do have the 3-2 lead and 3 away goals. So, can we finally make it to the championship? A 0-0 draw is perfectly okay by my standards. Of course, it wouldn't be normal for this rebuild if we didn't have to go through Liverpool to win the Champions League title. But we're going to be on for the challenge. Real quick, we're going to see how we finish in all the other competitions. We edged out Juventus to win the Serie A by 3. But Juventus got us at the beginning of the year winning the Supercoppa. Fair play, Juventus took on both cups over Verona. Hertha Berlin won the Europa League over Chelsea. Chelsea's usually a Europa League juggernaut. Real quick squad check before the finals. As you see, everybody but Garner is in the 90s or above. Mr. Pedro is all the way up 97. Do want to recognize Mr. Opoku, the Ghanaian center back. He is the only player left from the original roster of this team. Usually I usually try to keep 1 starters, but combinations not enough talent, time, and circumstances. He's the lone guy left. And then also don't forget Mr. Merritt, even though he was playing at Napoli, he is a product of the Udinese youth system along with Mr. Bruno Fernandes. Not from the youth system, but Fernandes' first start in top flight was again with Udinese. So, and then using our ownership of Watford, we brought on Sarr and Pedro. So, on to the finals. Can we bring home back to Udinese that Champions League trophy? Oh, wait, and I forgot, Mr. Gonzalez is actually an original member of this team. I believe he was on loan the first year, but he's actually an original member. So we got 2 Lone Rangers. Hey! And here we are playing the Netherlands at Johan Cruyff's Arena. Can we take the finals over Liverpool? Alisson still in goal. Wouldn't mind him to have a repeat of the Manchester City match in real life yesterday. But we'll see. Goal by... Oh, look at that. Our goal from the Youth Academy project. Mr. Barbieri. I didn't even think it was possible. Oh, man. What a way to get the Champions League trophy back. Wow. Here's a quick look at the stats for the season with Mr. Pedro. It's actually went down in production this year. He only had 36 goals. Mr. Holzek contributed 25. So, like usual, I give them a chance to defend their title. So we'll do one more quick season. I'm going to change it up a little bit, streamline it a little bit more, try something different for this rebuild, for this video. So, see you at the results tab after showing the transfers next year. So this final year we start off winning one title, a runaway Serie A title by 20 over Juventus. We got a double winning the Supercoppa over Juventus at the beginning of the year. We pull off the domestic treble, beating Fiorentina in the finals. That's different. In the Coppa Italia anyways. We took home the Super Cup over Hertha Berlin. And in a penalty shootout, we have taken home our 5th trophy of the season and our 2nd consecutive Champions League trophy over Barcelona. Way to go, guys. And since we're not allowed to win it also, somebody else has to. So the Europa League went to the Spurs. Look at the stats. As you see, Mr. Pedro got back on his horse with 43 goals, but 17 assists. I'm sure he's going to lead all the categories for this rebuild. And as we end this video, we're going to leave up here the stats of the team. Look at that front attack with Holzek and Pedro both at 98, 97. That's deadly. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to, for the next rebuild, do a couple more smaller things to kind of cut down the time a little bit so people can watch more of it. I appreciate any suggestions. Thank you guys for hanging in there. If in a comment, I did have a loss of memory in my PS4, so I actually was working on another rebuild in the Scottish Premiership and lost that at the same time. So it may be 2 weeks before I have another one done, since I'm basically having to start from scratch from this. But when I get it done, I will put it up there. Thank you guys for the support, the likes, and subscribing. Any suggestions down below, it's always welcome. Take care, enjoy your month of February, and hopefully not too much of a Super Bowl hangover here in America. Take care, and have a good day, guys.
You send shivers up my